Hello, welcome to another Better Words in my channel. Today we're going to look at Snow White 1937 versus Snow White and the Huntsman. Yes indeed, it is animated versus live action. Oh boy. Let's start and look at storyline. Both stories have the basic story basically, that is Snow White is treated somewhat well. You have the queen that is talking to a mirror and finds out that she isn't the fairest of them all and is trying to kill Snow White. And of course we have the Huntsman, which in Snow White and the Huntsman have a bigger role than he actually had in Snow White from 1937, which is the Disney animated one. In there he was supposed to kill her, but decides against it, and that's it. He basically vanishes after that. But in Snow White and the Huntsman he continues to be, well, her helper and everything, trying to protect her and so on, so on, so on. Later on, of course, we see the dwarves, 7 of them. They have a bigger role, I think, in the animated one than they have in the live action one, but anyway, better, could have been better, I don't know. And of course we have the poisoned apple, both eat it, both fall asleep, both kiss a kiss of a prince, and it continues like that. Snow White and the Huntsman is the darker version of this. We'll see a more CGI kind of world. There are a lot of a lot of fantasy creatures actually live, and dark forces, a town that is basically broken down, and so on, so on. It's a much darker version of this storyline. And we also will see the queen actually being more evil than she actually looked in the animated one. In the animated one we basically just see the castle in the beginning, and then we see her in the forest. That is the darkest part of the movie, which is basically scary images for children at least, since she ends up with the dwarves, and that is basically it. And back to the forest. So, but the big difference between these two is, in my opinion, how they actually treat in the story, which is a lighter version versus a darker version. And in this scenario, the winner of this topic is going to be Snow White and the Huntsman. Snow White and the Huntsman, in my opinion, have a more, as I said, darker storyline that actually make it more appealing to my taste at least. And the White one feels a little bit too drawn out. It's a really short movie. I think it's around 70 minutes or something like that, but it feels like it's longer than that because the story is kind of slow, in my opinion, in that movie. In the White and the Huntsman, it's not drawn out, in my opinion. You have more action, you have more things actually happening. Even though sometimes it isn't that good, it is still a better storyline, in my opinion. Topic number 2 are going to be effects and environments. Of course, it is animated versus live action, so it will be a little bit different. As I talked about in the storyline, the environments in Snow White and the Huntsman are darker, in my opinion a little bit more interesting than they are actually in the animated one, because they are in more places. They have a big castle, we have a town, we have a dark forest, we have many different fantasy places, in my opinion, and because of that, the winner of this topic are going to be Snow White and the Huntsman. As I said, because they have more set pieces to actually walk around in, and more places that they actually visit. In the animated one, it feels like they are only in one place, or one or two places, and that is a bad thing, in my opinion. Topic number 3 are going to be the queen, the evil queen. And the winner of this topic are going to be Snow White and the Huntsman. One of the big great things about Snow White and the Huntsman are actually the queen. I picked it up because I wanted to see the name. Charlize Theron made a really great queen in my opinion. She actually makes a good appearance in this movie. Her character is amazingly done. She's acting really great, and everything feels just great in my opinion when it comes to her. In animated one, the queen doesn't really do that much. Yes, she functions. Oh, my camera turned off, sorry for that, but let's continue. She basically only poisons the apple, and after that she doesn't really do that much. Yes, she gives the order to the Huntsman, but overall she doesn't do that much for the movie, in my opinion. And the final topic are going to be the best Snow White. Snow White in both versions are basically bland, in my opinion. She doesn't do anything in both, in my opinion. She just happens to be there. In the animated one, she is more lovable and things, but in the live action one, she feels more like let her make a hero. And I think Snow White isn't that type of character. Of course, if I haven't read the original fairy tale, but she doesn't feel like that kind of a character. So this topic are going to be a tie, because both characters, in my opinion, doesn't feel like they do that much. In my opinion, even though they are somewhat interested to follow, they doesn't feel like a hero. They doesn't feel to have the hero capacity, in my opinion. And the ultimate winner are going to be Snow White and the Huntsman. In my opinion, Snow White and the Huntsman is have a more dark and more interesting storyline. All the environments are more interesting as well, because they go to more set pieces and have more fantasy in it. And of course, the Queen actually makes this movie one of the greatest parts. I haven't talked about a lot about the Huntsman, because in animated one he doesn't really do that much. He just, well, spares Snow White's life, and that's just that. And of course he gets a much bigger role in Snow White and the Huntsman because he's in the title. But when it comes to Snow White herself, in both versions she is kind of bland, but of course Snow White and the Huntsman stands out more because of the other parts. And that was all for today, folks. Hope to see you next time. Bye.